Welcome to Fantasy Fanfiction. Fantasy, Invincible from the Supreme Bone. Chapter 46. At the same time, those strange beasts and fierce birds of the Golden Snake royal clan on the ancient ship knelt down on the ground in fright, neighing continuously, trembling all over, making a mess. The Golden Snake King clan and the others were also shocked by the terrifying aura of the Jiang family, and their hearts were chilled, and their eyes were full of horror. The group of people looked extremely embarrassed at the moment, as if they had lost the imposing manner that the ancient royal family should have. At the moment, the Golden Snake royal family and others felt relieved. This Jiang family is worthy of God's domain and transcends great forces. The top giant overlord, the Longevity family. The countless disciples of the Jiang family are handsome, talented, and young, far surpassing all the children of the ancient royal family. Presenting an overwhelming advantage can be described as an overwhelming advantage, crushing them. Then, in the sky, a cyan divine light broke through the sky and landed in front of the Jiang family mountain gate. This is a young man with a heroic appearance and great luck. He is dressed in green clothes and has 9 divine rings behind him. Surrounding it, the breath is extremely powerful, and the style is dazzling, just like a god king walking in the world. It is Jiang Chanking, the first true biography of the Jiang family, who possesses a terrifying physique, the God King body. At this time, the godson of the Golden Snake royal clan, with an arrogant expression and a cold light in his eyes, looked coldly at Jiang Chanking, and said, "You are the godson of the Jiang family, Jiang Lingshan. HMF. An ant like you, cultivation base is extremely despicable, and it's not worthy of a fight with my son of the Jiang family. Just let me let you know that my Jiang family is not some trash anyone can come to challenge." In the sky, Jiang Chanking stepped into the void, stood with his hands behind his back, with a playful look in his eyes, and sneered. As soon as the words fell, the godson of the Golden Snake King's family changed, his expression on the spot, and then his brows were filled with gloom. This man in Tsingyi turned out to be just a follower of Jiang Lingshan. But a follower has such a powerful cultivation base, and his aura is extremely arrogant. Very domineering. He didn't put him in one's eyes, the prince of the ancient royal family, the son of the top power. This made the Golden Snake King clan, and all the cultivators present involuntarily look cold, with a cold look in their eyes. The godson of his own royal family, as the top arrogance of the ancient times, is not even qualified to fight with the godson of the Jiang family. This made them all feel ashamed, as if they had been slapped severely. It was extremely humiliating. "He. You dare to speak so wildly, what did you say to end me? Today, son of God, I want to take a good look at you, Jiang Lingshan's follower, you are so confident and defiant. Where did it come from?" At that moment, the godson of the Golden Snake royal clan shouted loudly on the spot, and then erupted with a terrifying aura. With a magic spell in hand, it turned into a golden light, and attacked Jiang Chanking. The war broke out in an instant. However, Jiang Chanking's expression was indifferent, without any emotional fluctuations. He held a sword art in his hand. The divine power of the Tao Sea boiled instantly, like a vast ocean, coming out through the body. At the same time, a kind of sword intent that makes people shuddering, and soul-changing, is like a monsoon tsunami. Sweeping across the entire world, countless cyan sword glows immediately turned into a rain curtain. Armed with the mighty power of heaven and earth, he swamped the godson of the Golden Snake King clan on the spot with overwhelming force. No. It's impossible. A follower has such amazing combat power. At that moment, the expression of the godson of the Golden Snake King clan changed, drastically on the spot. His eyes widened, and his pupils were full of horror and fear. The torrential cyan rain of swords was extremely terrifying, and there was no way to avoid it. Almost in a flash, this son of the Golden Snake King clan had no power to fight back at all. Under the rain of swords, all over the sky, he was beaten into a sieve on the spot. His whole body was pierced, and blood holes appeared one after another. Immediately, the godson of the Golden Snake King clan raised his head to the sky and let out a mournful cry, covered in blood like a fountain. He rushed out on the spot, and with a boom, he fell to the ground and lost his vitality. Already dead, the dead can no longer die. Son of God. At that moment, the cultivator of the Golden Snake King clan and all living beings, their eyes turned red instantly, and shouted loudly on the spot. The godson of the Golden Snake King clan, his protector Taoist, his brows were full of grief, he gritted his teeth. Just now, he wanted to make a move to save his son of God. But just when he was about to leave, his whole body trembled violently uncontrollably, and endless coldness surged in his heart. I just felt that I was locked on the spot by several terrifying key machines. If he dared to take a step, he would be killed on the spot, and there was absolutely no possibility of him surviving. I am the godson of the Golden Snake King clan, and my skills are inferior to others. Immediately, lead the clansmen and leave here, and never set foot here again. Half step. At that moment, the godson of the Golden Snake King clan, his protector Taoist, headed towards the Jiang family's mountain gate. He made a bow on the spot, looked extremely respectful, and said. Afterwards, the Golden Snake royal family and others hurriedly fled here, as if they had received an amnesty. At the same time, in front of the Jiang family mountain gate, the eyes of countless Jiang family disciples were filled with excitement and high spirits. Their Jiang family's first true biography, Jiang Chanking, is the elder brother of all the Jiang family's disciples. Sure enough, as in the past, the divine power is unstoppable. In the first battle, it was a good start, and the flag was won. Jiang Chanking, as the first true heir of the Jiang family, has a peerless physique, the God King body. He is even more of a true senior brother if it wasn't for the Jiang family who produced a terrifying evildoer. Jiang Lingshan, possessing 3 supreme physiques, is such a frightening existence. Then Jiang Chanking must be the son of the Jiang family god. It naturally possesses powerful combat power and heaven-defying combat skills. Then, in the next few days, the ancient forces from God's domain rushed to this place one after another. From the beginning to the end, among the ancient arrogants, they have never even seen the face of Jiang Lingshan. All of them were killed by the 8 true disciples of the Jiang family, with the force of thunder, on the spot. None of the Gu Tianjiao survived and escaped from this place. Just like not long ago, the godsons of the Golden Snake King clan all perished and turned into blood mist, destroying both body and spirit. Soon, in front of the gate of Jiangjia Mountain, Gu Tianjiao, who came to challenge him, ended up like a tornado. With the force of a violent storm, it swept across the entire Huande God's domain, shocking countless cultivators. I'm Going, the first true biography of the Jiang family, Jiang Chanking, is actually just the entourage of the Jiang family's godson. But one follower has such terrifying combat power. Then how terrifying is this Jiang family godson? At present, in God's domain, there are countless orthodoxy and cultivators of creatures. After hearing the news from here, all of them couldn't help being shocked, and their eyes were full of shock and horror. It must be known that these Gu Tianjiao who went to Jiang's house to challenge him came from immortal ancient and chaotic ancient mythology, immemorial ages, etc. Among these ancient arrogances, which one was not once famous and outstanding? But now, they have all turned into blood mist, and died in the current god realm. At this time, inside the gate of the Jiang family mountain, Jiang Lingshan's dragon chariot, on the Qilong divine ship, and inside the brilliant jade palace. System, open a supreme large gift bag that hasn't started yet. Yes, host. Ding. Congratulations to the host, a special opportunity has been triggered, and he has obtained a treasure technique of the level above the Tao of Sacrifice, the immortal Phoenix Fist. At that moment, Jiang Lingshan's eyes lit up with joy, this time his character exploded. A special opportunity was triggered to directly activate the treasure technique above the sacrificial path. This immortal Phoenix Fist, as a precious technique above the Tao of Sacrifice, its killing power is naturally extremely terrifying and irresistible. As soon as one punch is released, the heavens collapse and all realms are destroyed. Gods block and kill gods, and Buddhas block and kill Buddhas. It is a true supreme treasure, heaven-defying to the extreme. Because it was a treasure technique unlocked from the system gift pack, Jiang Lingshan instantly punched the immortal phoenix to realm, who comprehended it on the spot and reached the pinnacle of proficiency. Son of God, the brothers of Chanking true inheritance, have already wiped out all the Gu Tianjiao who came to challenge. I believe it won't be long, none of those inferior cultivation, base Gu Tianjiao will dare to visit my Jiang family in this god's domain. At that moment, on the divine ship, a servant poured a cup of divine tea for Jiang Lingshan respectfully, and said, "What Gu Tianjiao? I think they are all a bunch of trash." At this time, Jiang Lingshan's eyes were full of disappointment, and he coldly hummed. He originally thought that among these ancient arrogances there should be a son of fortune, but in the past few days there has been no one. In his eyes, they are all ordinary people. However, as soon as his words fell, Jiang Lingshan's eyes flashed with a purple-gold brilliance. That look of disappointment turned into an expression, as if there was something that could attract Jiang Lingshan. After waiting for a few days, a son of fortune finally came. Forget it, just entrust this person to me, let me stretch my muscles and bones. At that moment, on the divine ship, Jiang Lingshan slowly walked out of the incomparably splendid Jade Palace, and then stretched. Squinting his eyes slightly, he looked at a powerful figure in front of the mountain gate, and said with a faint smile. At the same time, in this world, a divine voice resounded in everyone's ears like Huang Zong Dalu. The ancient royal family, the Vermilion Bird royal family, the young supreme, the Vermilion Bird prince, come to visit, and want to have a son with the Jiang family. Let's fight for the front, let's learn. At the next moment, in front of the gate of Jiangjia Mountain, countless cultivators gathered here looked up into the distance. I saw a young man there, he was wearing a red gold battle armor, and his long red hair was loose. A pair of red pupils, filled with divine splendor, filled with wildness and frightening light. He is tall, with divine fire flowing all over his body, and behind him are 9 vermilion birds, flying up and down, surrounding them. The breath is extremely powerful for the ancient royal family, the young supreme. In the past, in its immemorial period, an era was pushed aside, all the strong men of the same generation. At this moment, in this world, countless cultivators who came here to watch the battle couldn't help but tremble. His eyes were full of shock and awe. This ancient royal family, the young supreme, Vermilion Bird Prince, is indeed the invincible arrogance who pushed an era across the past. The aura emanating from his body is simply shocking and terrifying. It made them all tremble involuntarily, their hearts shivered, and their scalps felt numb. Not long ago, if the son of the Golden Snake King clan was compared with this Vermilion Bird Prince, that is simply an ant, extremely weak, not at the same level at all. Suddenly, at this moment, there was an exclamation from this world. Look, the godson of the Jiang family, Jiang Lingshan, here he comes. As soon as the words fell, everyone's eyes turned to a huge and incomparably golden divine ship in front of the gate of the Jiang family mountain in the distance. On the divine ship there was a young man in a purple and gold battlesuit, sitting high on the dragon chair. Like a young immortal emperor, with purple golden immortal radiance flowing all over his body, standing high above, looking down on the Prince Vermilion Bird below. The young man looked indifferent, his black hair danced lightly, there was a taunt in his eyes, and he said lightly. It's you, an ant, who recently threatened to kill me in God's domain. Start your so-called second era of invincibility. If I was born in the primordial era, in the same era as you, your record of overthrowing all the talents of the same generation, it will definitely turn into a bubble. Right now, I see you as an ant, why don't you commit suicide? As soon as the words fell, the Vermilion Bird Prince heard the words, and there was anger in his eyes. Jiang Lingshan at this moment, just like a superior person, looking down on the inferior person, aloof, didn't to put him in one's eyes at all. He, Prince Vermilion Bird, as a member of the ancient royal family, was a young supreme. How had he ever suffered such humiliation? At that moment, his red hair stood on end, his brows were full of glue minus, and he shouted loudly on the spot. Jiang Lingshan, you are too arrogant. You don't want to put me in one's eyes like this. The Prince of Japan will definitely teach you that you will die without a place to die. Let you know that I, the ancient royal family, the young supreme, cannot be humiliated. However, Jiang Lingshan on the divine ship heard the words, but there was a sneer in his eyes, and he said lightly. Let me die without a place to die. You ant, you have a big tone. Anyway, right now, I am a little hungry in my stomach. Then I will kill you and fill my stomach. At this moment, the Prince Vermilion Bird looked furious on the spot, his eyes spewing fire. No one has ever dared to speak to him like this, and even wanted to kill him. At this moment, he, the ancient royal family, and the young supreme are just food in Jiang Lingshan's eyes. This caused endless anger to surge in his heart, and his whole body seemed to be ignited. At the same time, the countless cultivators who watched the battle in the distance were all shaken violently after hearing the words. Everyone's eyes were full of shock and horror, and many people slapped themselves hard, saying inconceivably. Did I hear you right? The Jiang family godson said that he wanted to kill the prince of the ancient royal family, the Vermilion Bird, and fill his stomach. I'll go. Then Prince Vermilion Bird is a young supreme, who has suppressed the invincible genius of an era. Such a peerless person, in the eyes of the Jiang family godson, is just food. This is too crazy. It's shocking. From this side of the world, there were exclamations of exclamation, and there was a lot of noise and excitement. Jiang Lingshan's arrogant, and domineering behavior made countless creatures present cultivator. They were all deeply shocked by it, felt their scalps go numb, and there was endless chill in their hearts, making their hair stand on end. Ah! Jiang Lingshan, you dare to belittle me so much, the Prince of Japan will definitely light you up as a sky lantern. At this time, the vermilion bird prince's eyes spewed fire, his red hair fluttered, his brows were full of madness, and he roared angrily on the spot. What are you barking about? Make a quick decision, I am really hungry. On the divine ship, Jiang Lingshan looked indifferent, and glanced at Prince Vermilion Bird. Immediately, like a beam of bright light, his whole body rose from the ground and flew far into the sky. At the same time, the Prince Vermilion Bird stretched out his body and turned into a red rainbow, following closely behind. At the next moment, in this world, the cultivator of countless creatures also followed Jiang Lingshan, and Prince Vermilion Bird, soaring into the sky. Soon, Jiang Lingshan led countless cultivators, and flew out of the Jiang family emperor clan to a mountain range. It is naturally impossible for him, Jiang Lingshan, to fight this Vermilion Bird prince in his Jiang family area. Otherwise, his Jiang family members, and other innocent creatures will definitely be affected by then. Here, hundreds of thousands of miles away from the Jiang family, the mountains stretch endlessly, forming a primitive landform. At this moment, in the sky, there are countless cultivators, stepping on the void, standing in the air. Everyone's eyes were on the Jiang family's godson and the Vermilion Bird Prince. One is the peerless arrogance of an era who was invincible in the ancient times, pushing all the opponents of his generation across the board. The other one, possessing 3 supreme physiques, is the #1 cultivation talent in all time. Not long ago, in Nanling Tianzin Taoist Mansion, he wiped out hundreds of terrifying evildoers of Tianjiao Godson with one move. Even if the battle between the two of them broke out, it would naturally be shocking and attract the attention of countless cultivators. Jiang Lingshan, today's prince, I will definitely destroy you and remove you from the Huande God realm. In the sky, Prince Vermilion Bird, with his red hair fluttering around, his eyes full of anger, and his whole body exuding murderous intent, roared angrily. He. A mole ant is just about to die, and it's just incapable of roaring. In the distance, Jiang Lingshan was wearing a purple gold battlesuit, fluttering in the wind. The corners of his mouth were raised, and there was a look of contempt in his eyes, and he smiled coldly. Jiang Lingshan, you are too arrogant. At that moment, Prince Vermilion Bird was furious, and his own sea power boiled instantly. His entire combat strength has climbed to the peak state. His eyes were like knives, carrying the mighty power of heaven and earth, turning into a red rainbow, attacking and killing Jiang Lingshan. At the same time, behind him, the 9 vermilion birds spread out against the wind in an instant, turning into the size of a hill. This side of the world, the endless spiritual ki, suddenly flooded towards the 9 vermilion birds like a sea. The soaring spiritual ki, at this moment, has turned into the Prince of Vermilion Bird, with supernatural power. Immediately, with every step that Prince Vermilion Bird took, a booming sound could be heard from the whole world. It was deafening and powerful. In the sky, one after another, the avenues of auspicious colors descended. Behind Prince Vermilion Bird, the 9 incomparably huge vermilion birds were connected on the spot, bursting out with brilliant light. Dazzling, extremely gorgeous. The ancient royal family, the invincible supreme, the posture of the ancient emperor. An extremely powerful and terrifying aura emanated from the 9 vermilion birds behind Prince Vermilion Bird. This Fang Tianyu seemed to be collapsed in an instant. At the moment, this ancient royal family, the young supreme, the vermilion bird prince, raised his hands and gestures. As if he could pick off the ancient star from outside the territory at any time, his power was overwhelming, extremely terrifying, and he dominated the world. This is the Prince of Vermilion Bird, his father, the ancient emperor. Vermilion Bird's way of the ancient emperor. Overwhelm the 9 heavens, shock the sky, and be unmatched. This is the general trend of the world, all of which are integrated with Prince Vermilion Bird, who is using his strongest ancient imperial technique. With the power of 10,000 ways, Deva will unite and suppress Jiang Lingshan. He wanted to kill Jiang Lingshan with one blow, so as to calm the endless anger in his heart. This is your bottom line? The strongest ancient imperial technique. In my opinion, it's nothing more than that. It's not even 1/10,000th of ordinary martial arts. At that moment, Jiang Lingshan's black hair danced lightly, a teasing look appeared in his eyes, and he snorted coldly. As soon as the words fell, his whole body turned into a purple gold immortal light, walking on the fairy steps, and clenched his right hand. Exercising the precious technique above the Tao of sacrifice, the immortal phoenix fist. At the next moment, a phoenix cry came from this world, resounding through the heavens and worlds. It was deafening, and it made people's souls burst. At the same time, behind Jiang Lingshan, there was an extremely huge fairy phoenix shining with 5 colors of divine light. Emerging on the spot, it is tens of millions of feet high, like a supreme giant. The icy eyes slowly opened, accompanied by endless murderous aura, sweeping across the entire world, making one's hair stand on end. At that moment, Jiang Lingshan's eyes were cold, and the fist of Zijin, immortal light, was shining, and he punched out on the spot. Afterwards, the fairy phoenix shrouding the heavens that covered the sun, after emitting a phoenix cry, followed like a shadow. Turning into a bright immortal light, it rushed to kill Prince Vermilion Bird in the distance. Boom! At the next moment, there was a loud noise in this world, which was deafening. The immortal phoenix fist, combined with Prince Vermilion Bird's ancient imperial art, Deva, is the power of 10,000 ways. The two collided violently, and in an instant, a bright beam of light shot up into the sky from this area. Accompanied by this, countless mountain ranges collapsed on the spot, turned into endless rubble, and fell from the sky. Ah! The next moment, an extremely shrill scream came from the mouth of the Vermilion Bird Prince. At the same time, the Vermilion Bird Prince was like a kite with a broken string, spitting out blood. It flew backwards, and after collapsing dozens of mountains, it slammed heavily on the ground. And, accompanied by a click, the arms of the Vermilion Bird Prince looked like porcelain that had been beaten. It burst on the spot, and the red gold blood flew down in all directions. I'll go. The godson of the Jiang family, with just one move, severely injured the Vermilion Bird Prince. This is too scary. This Prince Vermilion Bird is from the ancient royal family, Young Supreme. The father and son of the ancient emperor who suppressed an era. But now even the son of the Jiang family can't resist a single move. This godson of the Jiang family is absolutely terrifying. He is a monster. At the moment, among the countless creatures cultivator in the distance, there is a powerful patriarch. The corner of his mouth twitched involuntarily. The deep eyes were already full of shock and horror at this moment. Are you the invincible genius who overthrew all the opponents of your generation in the ancient times? It's simply too weak. It's not my opponent at all. Jiang Lingshan, will kill you like a chicken without any effort. In the sky, Jiang Lingshan stepped on the void, standing with his hands behind his back, his eyes full of teasing. Wearing a purple and gold battlesuit, fluttering in the wind, looking at Prince Vermilion Bird's eyes is completely like looking at an ant. Puff. As soon as the words fell, the Vermilion Bird Prince heard the words, and his heart was full of anger on the spot, and he couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood again. Those arms exploded completely, turned into powder, and scattered with the wind. As powerful as the sons and daughters of the ancient emperor, the ancient royal family, and the young supreme, his body is as strong as Jiang Lingshan. Between the two, there is no level of opponents at all. Prince Vermilion Bird, in the ancient times, was invincible in an era, and he returned from the resurrection with the current god realm. Then it was said that Jiang Lingshan, the world's top talent in Shenyu, is famous and the most famous. Therefore, he, Prince Vermilion Bird, decided to kill Jiang Lingshan. At that time, his reputation will inevitably shake the entire Huande god realm once again. It's a pity that all of this is just his imagination, and he only met Jiang Lingshan face to face. He was seriously injured on the spot and paid a very painful price. In his opinion, all of this is simply unacceptable to him. It is simply an unbearable burden in life. He is the ancient royal family, the young supreme, the son of the ancient emperor, an invincible leader of an era. But now, he was no match for Jiang Lingshan, which made him feel a sense of frustration in his heart. Moreover, this feeling is more unbearable than the severe pain on his body. It can be described as extremely humiliating. As the ancient royal family, the young supreme, the son of the ancient emperor, all have their own pride and conceit since they practice Taoism. He stands high and is admired by the world. How could he be reduced to such a miserable end like he is today? It's a shame. At that moment, the Prince Vermilion Bird couldn't help but roared to the sky, his red hair flying around. But at this time, Jiang Lingshan's expression was indifferent. His feet were in the void. He was wearing a purple and gold battlesuit. Not even a single hem was hurt. The whole person stands in the air, with purple golden immortal radiance flowing all over his body, like a supreme god walking in the world. With just one move, a young supreme was severely injured, spurting blood, and looked miserable. No. It's impossible. Prince Vermilion Bird, as the ancient royal family, the young supreme, and the son of the ancient emperor, how could I lose so easily? The Prince Vermilion Bird, with tears in his eyes, let out a mournful cry, his red hair all over his head, and then he fell on the spot. At the next moment, Prince Vermilion Bird erupted with a bright red golden light, and at the same time, he cast a peerless secret technique. With his own ancient emperor's parent and child, the source of life as salary, he burned on the spot. After paying a huge price, his combat power skyrocketed unprecedentedly, reaching a peak state that he had never reached before. At the same time, red gold blood flowed from the broken parts of his arms, followed by a pair of new arms. It grew again on the spot, and it was covered with the ancient emperor's god pattern, which was extremely powerful, and flowing with divine brilliance. Clang! At the next moment, the Vermilion Bird Prince, with a flash of brilliance in his palm, appeared on the spot with a red gold spear. I'll go. That Prince Vermilion Bird actually used the ancient soldiers of the gods. At the moment, there was a creature cultivator in the distance. After seeing this scene, he couldn't help but let out an exclamation. After practicing the realm of the sages, you will be in the realm of the gods. But at this moment, the Vermilion Bird Prince, with red hair fluttering around, is holding an ancient god soldier, and a red gold spear. Armed with monstrous power, he swung down towards Jiang Lingshan. Boom! At the same time, in this world, a huge lightning flashed across the sky. That is the ancient soldier of the god Venerable, the terrifying divine light on the tip of the spear, even a strong man at the peak of the Sage Lord realm. Under this peerless spear, he had to die on the spot, and be wiped out in ashes. Prince Vermilion Bird, as a member of the ancient royal family, the young supreme, is also the son of the ancient emperor. His physical body is naturally terrifying, and now that he is holding a piece of divine armament, his combat power will naturally skyrocket. Don't you think you can kill me, Jiang Lingshan, by holding an ancient godly weapon? At the moment, Jiang Lingshan looked indifferent, with a purple gold brilliance in his eyes, and snorted coldly. As soon as he finished speaking, he stepped on the fairy steps, and transformed into a purple gold immortal light, towards Prince Vermilion Bird. Attacked and killed on the spot. At the same time, his right hand melted into a palm, and there was lightning dancing between the palm and fingers, and he patted forward lightly. With a sound of boom, Jiang Lingshan's slapped palm turned into a purple golden immortal monument on the spot. On the immortal steel, there are avenues of gods all over, and there is an endless chaotic atmosphere flowing down. Crack! Immediately afterwards, the red gold spear held by Prince Vermilion Bird was shattered into a large piece on the spot under the purple golden immortal steel. Then, there was a sound of clang. And the spear was snatched away by Jiang Lingshan on the spot. God respects the ancient soldier, the red gold spear changes hands. How can this be? At that moment, the Vermilion Bird Prince had a look of surprise in his eyes. This Jiang Lingshan actually used his physical strength. He shattered a large piece of his godly ancient soldier, the red gold spear. Such a terrifying physical body, even his father, the ancient Emperor Vermilion Bird, could never compare to him when he was young. Brush. At the next moment, a cold light flashed. Jiang Lingshan looked indifferent, holding a red gold spear. He slashed down with his backhand. The Prince Vermilion Bird's expression suddenly changed drastically, and his brows were full of misery. He wanted to use all his strength to avoid this terrifying blow. However, Jiang Lingshan's footwork, the walking word fairy step, is the fastest in the world. In addition, it is a treasure technique above the Tao of sacrifice, and its speed is naturally terrifying, unparalleled in the world. The Vermilion Bird Prince couldn't escape this peerless blow at all, and his body was directly crushed by Jiang Lingshan. It was split into two pieces at the middle, and in an instant, blood gushed out like pillars. After the Vermilion Bird Prince uttered a scream, the lower half of his body fell directly from the sky. It fell down and smashed into the mountains below. The next moment, the Vermilion Bird Prince, with tears in his eyes, a mournful cry, the upper half of his body. He wants to use secret techniques to escape from this place, never to fight Jiang Lingshan again, and continue the war. However, Jiang Lingshan didn't give Prince Vermilion Bird any chance at all with the red gold spear in his hand. He swung it again on the spot, and instantly blood sprayed the head of the Vermilion Bird Prince. He was chopped off by Jiang Lingshan on the spot, and was held on the red gold spear. Jiang Lingshan, if you dare to kill me today, you will ascend to the immortal domain in the future, and you will definitely be hunted down by my elder brothers. At that moment, Prince Vermilion Bird, with anger in his eyes, angrily reprimanded on the spot. However, in his angry voice, there was a look of hope mixed in. He really hoped to use this to frighten Jiang Lingshan and make him use his tricks, not daring to hurt his life. Unfortunately, all this was in vain. I saw Jiang Lingshan, with the corners of his mouth raised, his eyes full of contempt and teasing. He smiled coldly. Jiang Lingshan, will be afraid of your elder brothers. If they dare to chase and kill me, Jiang Lingshan, will definitely teach them to be wiped out from the world. Jiang Lingshan, you. Seeing this, Prince Vermilion Bird's expression changed drastically, and he couldn't help trembling on the spot. At the same time, in the distance, the followers of Prince Vermilion Bird's eyes instantly turned red after seeing this scene. It turned into a ray of light on the spot, rushed towards Jiang Lingshan, and shouted loudly, "Prince!" However, at this moment, Jiang Lingshan did not have any emotional fluctuations, the red gold spear in his hand. There was a slight shock, and then there was a poof sound from the sky and the earth. The head of the Vermilion Bird Prince exploded on the spot, blood spattered everywhere, and his whole body was instantly wiped out. There is no longer any possibility of survival. Suddenly, a frightening aura came from this place. It turned out to be the red gold spear in Jiang Lingshan's hand. The god-respected ancient soldier, after seeing his master fall, let out a mournful cry, wanting to backlash Jiang Lingshan. Sinister. At that moment, Jiang Lingshan's expression turned cold, and his own sea power instantly boiled like the sea. An aura of terror erupted all over his body, and then his hands shook slightly. Boom! The ancient soldier of the gods, the red gold spear, and the gods in it, collapsed on the spot, turned into powder, and scattered with the wind. At the same time, facing the followers of Prince Vermilion Bird, Jiang Lingshan looked indifferent. With a big hand swipe, there was a poof. Those Vermilion Bird princes and followers in the distance. Before he could even yell out a scream, he turned into a blood mist on the spot, and his body and spirit were all wiped out. Ding! Congratulations to the host, kill the Son of Fortune, and get 400,000 luck points. A supreme large gift bag. The next moment, in Jiang Lingshan's sea of consciousness, there was a systematic mechanical sound. I'm going. The ancient royal family, the young supreme, the Vermilion Bird Prince. Such a peerless arrogance, to be suppressed and killed on the spot by the godson of the Jiang family. This is too terrifying. An invincible genius who suppressed an era has no power to fight back in front of the Jiang family godson. May I ask, in the current god realm, those ancient Tianjiao, who else can be the opponent of this Jiang family's godson? In the distance, countless creatures cultivators, after seeing this scene, only felt their scalps go numb and their hearts felt cold. His whole body shook violently, and he couldn't help but let out exclamations of surprise. His eyes were full of shock and horror. But at the moment, in the sky, Jiang Lingshan stepped into the void, and with his big hand, he reached into the mountains below. The body of Prince Vermilion Bird was taken into his palm on the spot. With the fall of Prince Vermilion Bird, his human body naturally returned to its original real body. Afterwards, Jiang Lingshan stretched out his figure and transformed into a purple gold rainbow, coming to the endless mountains below. On the shore of a huge divine lake, after obtaining the water of the divine lake. When Jiang Lingshan was not long, he cleaned this Vermilion Bird thoroughly. I'll go. The Jiang family godson, what are you doing now? Could it be that, not long ago, he said that he would kill and eat Prince Vermilion Bird? Wasn't it just a joke? Today, this son of the Jiang family, is he really going to eat Prince Vermilion Bird? What's going on in this world? It's too crazy. The ancient royal family, the young supreme, the father and son of the ancient emperor, the invincible arrogance of an era. Not yet in God's domain in this world, to shine brilliantly and open the road to invincibility. Is it going to become food in the mouth of others today? In the distance, in the sky, countless living beings cultivator, after seeing this scene, were all dumbfounded on the spot, dumbfounded. Such a terrifying scene constantly stimulated everyone's nerves. It made them all tremble violently, uncontrollably. Endless coldness surged from the bottom of their hearts, their scalps were numb, and their hairs shivered. In the distance, on the shore of Shenhu Lake, Jiang Lingshan looked indifferent, and raised his hand to shoot out an original divine fire. Immediately, Jiang Lingshan sat cross-legged by the divine fire, with an extremely serious expression, and scorched the Vermilion Bird meticulously. Jiang Lingshan's mood did not fluctuate in any way, but the original divine fire became more and more vigorous. It can be seen that after going through a big battle, Jiang Lingshan really felt a little hungry. This Vermilion Bird, as the ancient emperor bloodline, it's really delicious. At that moment, Jiang Lingshan couldn't help but twitched his nose in the face of the meaty Vermilion Bird. On the original divine fire, the Vermilion Bird shone brightly from being roasted, and there was a chirping sound from time to time. There is a lot of oil dripping down, and the fragrance it emits is very attractive. After the vermilion bird was smeared with various gourmet seasonings by Jiang Lingshan, it became more and more golden and shiny. At the moment, this vermilion bird barbecue, on its surface, is flowing with divine splendor, and even more terrifying power is spreading out. All this is to show the world how powerful this Prince Vermilion Bird was during his lifetime. It's a pity that he became Jiang Lingshan's meal before he started his second invincible journey. About half an hour later, a vermilion bird shone with divine splendor, golden yellow, and extremely fragrant. It has been fully baked by Jiang Lingshan. At the same time, with a wave of Jiang Lingshan's hand, several jugs of fine wine appeared on the spot from the stored magical item. Then, Jiang Lingshan lined up the fine wine, and an incomparably rich aroma of wine immediately hit his nostrils. Barbecue with good wine is simply a fairy's life, so it is naturally extremely happy. This Jiang Lingshan didn't have any pretensions. He sat on a boulder and began to eat the sacred meat of vermilion bird. The next moment, vermilion bird barbecue, accompanied by the aroma of wine, drifted into the distance. Immediately, the countless cultivators in the distance couldn't help swallowing on the spot. The glutton in his stomach was hooked up on the spot. However, right now, among the countless cultivators in the sky, none of them dared to step forward to share the delicacy with Jiang Lingshan. Soon, Jiang Lingshan was feasting, drinking in big bowls, enjoying himself to the fullest. Seniors in the sky, why don't you come down and share this vermilion bird barbecue with me? It's delicious on earth. At that moment, Jiang Lingshan raised his head to look at the sky, the Taoist patriarch of the great power, and immediately spoke. Son of God kindness, we appreciate it. It's just that we have never been hungry, so the world's delicacy is so delicious, let's share it with the Son of God. At this time, those great Taoist patriarchs waved their hands at the same time and said, this is the ancient royal family, the flesh of the ancient emperor's father and son. May I ask how many people in this world dare to share the sacred flesh of the vermilion bird with this son of the Jiang family? He Jiang Lingshan, as the godson of the longevity family, has an extremely profound orthodoxy and influence. Being detached from the outside world and above everything else, naturally he would not have any fear of this ancient royal family, the vermilion bird royal family. However, the patriarchs of these orthodox forces dare not start a war with this ancient royal family, the vermilion bird royal family. If they dared to share the sacred flesh of vermilion bird with Jiang Lingshan today, that will definitely form a great karma with the vermilion bird royal family. An hour later, Jiang Lingshan sat down cross-legged and refined all the sacred meat of the vermilion bird after he was full of wine and food. And at this moment, Jiang Lingshan felt that his own realm seemed to be breaking through. It's time for transcend tribulation. At that moment, Jiang Lingshan stood up, wearing a purple gold battlesuit, and could move without wind. He murmured, boom. As soon as the words fell, there was a thunderous roar in this side of the world, in the endless sky. It was deafening and powerful. At the same time, this area was completely submerged by Zijin's breath on the spot. The spiritual key of endless world instantly poured down like a tsunami on the spot. I'm going. This turned out to be the godson of the Jiang family. Heavenly tribulation. Godson of the Jiang family, he is going to cross the heavenly tribulation, how is this possible? At that moment there were exclamations of surprise from countless creatures cultivators in the distance. But at this time, Jiang Lingshan stepped on the fairy steps and came to the vast sky in one step, ready to cross the godly realm heavenly tribulation. Boom! Then, in the sky, a series of terrifying divine punishments descended instantly, extremely violent. Like countless seas of stars, falling from the heavens and worlds. Submerged the entire sky. At this time, the countless cultivators in the distance, after seeing this scene, couldn't help but gasp on the spot. If it is said that the ancestors of these great powers, the Supreme Elder, once crossed the heavenly tribulation of the gods, they are galaxy clusters. The heavenly tribulation of Jiang Lingshan at this moment is one ocean after another, boundless and boundless. Is this the godson of the Jiang family, the peerless evildoer, the godly realm heavenly tribulation? It's simply too terrifying, it can be said to be shocking, and it is unmatched. In the vast sky, in the endless thunder clouds, there are countless flood dragons chopping and dancing up and down, rushing and roaring. The next moment, in this world, the ancestors of many powerful forces raised their hands and shot a divine light. Seal this area and all celestial secrets, so as not to be affected by the heavenly tribulation on the spot. After that, in the vast sky, the countless kinds of lightning lights of divine punishment entwined and intertwined with each other. It turned into a terrifying world, as if it wanted to destroy the heavens and collapse all worlds. That ray of lightning can shatter a ninth-stage heavenly powerhouse. And such a terrifying lightning glow, there are countless strands, countless paths in the endless sea of thunder. Moreover, behind the countless lightning-shaped dragons, there is an even more terrifying and chilling scene. Slowly emerging, a Taoist-shaped lightning was gradually forming in the endless sea of thunder. And this human-shaped lightning is the strongest arrogance of all heavens and myriad worlds in ancient history. In the future, achieve the supreme existence of taboos. If the godson of the Jiang family survived such a terrifying, heavenly tribulation today, how can anyone in this world be his opponent? I'm afraid it's gone. At the moment, there were quite a few powerful patriarchs, their eyes filled with horror, and they couldn't help but sighed on the spot. Boom! Suddenly, at this moment, in the sea of thunder in the sky, human-shaped lightning condensed and formed. In that world, hundreds of heavenly tribulations were born. Every heavenly tribulation is rare in the world, possessing peerless terror. At the moment, the expressions of the ancestors of the major forces in the distance, the Supreme Elder, all changed dramatically. Such a terrifying heavenly tribulation, if they accidentally enter by mistake, they will be drawn by this heavenly tribulation to their own realm. The same horror of heavenly tribulation, they will definitely be wiped out at that time, there is no possibility of fighting against it at all. And just as the ancestors of countless orthodox forces feel sorry for today's god realm, a peerless evildoer, Taoist talent, and the #1 arrogance of all time, Jiang Lingshan, the godson of the Jiang family, was about to fall under such a terrifying heavenly tribulation. At the next moment, in the distant sky, Jiang Lingshan moved. He was wearing a purple and gold battlesuit, and was blown by the strong wind. Forming seals with both hands, performing a treasure technique above the Tao of sacrifice, the terrifying killing technique in the Huangshan Emperor killing art. The immortal seal of the God Emperor. Almost instantly, a terrifying and breathtaking aura permeated Jiang Lingshan's body. Jiang Lingshan, who has completed the seal, is like a supreme God Emperor, making countless cultivators far away. They all couldn't help feeling endless fear, and couldn't help but kneel and kowtow to him. Immortal seal of the God Emperor, peerless in antiquity, coercing 9 heavens, pushing all spirits horizontally, raising his hand, can suppress and kill all heavens and all races. Boom! Afterwards, the God Emperor immortal seal, which dominates the world, turned into a peerless divine light and smashed towards the endless sea of thunder. Boom! The next moment, Jianayan and Leihai collided violently, and the sky boiled instantly. The sky is full of divine light, and there are waves of air everywhere, which is breathtaking and terrifying. However, after a short while, the immortal seal of the God Emperor was intact. However, this God venerable heavenly punishment, endless thunder sea, was destroyed on the spot by the blow of the God Emperor immortal seal. The endless calamity cloud disappeared in an instant. Not long after, the endless sky, the bright universe, reappeared in the world, a blue as clear as a wash, cloudless for thousands of miles. And Jiang Lingshan's cultivation base realm broke through 4 small realms in a row from the 6th stage of the virtuous master realm. Successfully broke into the realm of gods, 1st stage, the peak of heaven. Scary as a servant, extremely frightening, it makes people's soul tremble. Not long after, in the distance, the countless cultivators exploded on the spot after seeing this scene. How is this possible? This godson of the Jiang family actually destroyed such a terrifying heavenly tribulation with just one move. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I would never have believed that there is such a genius in the world, who can do this. At that moment, the countless creatures cultivators were all shaken violently, their eyes full of shock. After about a cup of tea time, another 8 ancient arrogances descended on this side of the world. At that moment, countless creatures once again exclaimed one after another. That's the ancient royal family, the Shivang royal family, the young supreme. What? The ancient royal family, the 3-eyed royal family, and the young supreme are here. There is also the mythical Taoist, the true Zhuan Taoist, and the young supreme. And the Tiangsuan Taoist, the young supreme. The chaotic ancient god clan, Shin god clan, young supreme, Yuwushan god clan, young supreme, are here too. That turned out to be the immortal emperor clan, the myriad tribulation emperor clan, the young supreme, and the zooming emperor clan, the young supreme. How is it possible? The 8 young supremes have come here at the same time. Could it be that they all came here to challenge the Jiang family godson? 8 terrifying figures, like immortal statues, stood upright. And at this moment, the two young supremes of the ancient royal family descended here, and the young supreme of the Shivang royal family. With the young supreme of the three-eyed royal family, he saw the Prince Vermilion Bird who was eaten by Jiang Lingshan in the distance, leaving only the skeleton. There was a cold light in the eyes of both of them, and their expressions instantly became extremely gloomy. This Vermilion Bird Prince, like them, is a member of the ancient royal family, the young supreme. In addition, this Vermilion Bird Prince, in the ancient times, was an invincible arrogance who overthrew an era. However, today it has been reduced to such a miserable end. This made them both belong to the ancient royal family, and they all felt like they had their own faces, as if they had been slapped severely by Jiang Lingshan. The face is dull, the face is swept away. At that moment, the young supreme of the Shivang royal family looked at Jiang Lingshan with a cold light in his eyes, and angrily said, "Godson of the Jiang family, your methods are too cruel. The Vermilion Bird Prince, whose skills are not as good as others, will be killed by you, that's all. But why do you still not let go of his real body? You actually roasted it to fill your stomach." As soon as the words fell, the other 7 young supremes present all nodded in unison. At this time, Jiang Lingshan faced the questioning. His expression was indifferent, his eyes were cold, and he smiled coldly. In the ancient era, your ancient race regarded me as a human race and fed on the blood of livestock. Countless human beings, cultivators, and even ordinary mortals have become food in the mouths of your ancient race. Now, I just ate a vermilion bird. How ridiculous it is for you to call me cruel. There are also you immortal Emperor clan, chaotic ancient god clan, and mythical Dao clan. Which life was revived in God's domain without causing countless catastrophes, bloodshed of hundreds of millions of living beings, inheritance of countless Taoisms, and severance of annihilation? In this life, the same is true for you who came back from recovery in this world. How dare you come here today and want to challenge me, Jiang Lingshan? You're just a bunch of clowns. If you are angry in your heart, you can challenge it. However, in order to save time, I don't mind if you 8 young supremes join hands. In my eyes, you so-called Butianjiao are nothing but a bunch of chickens and dogs, ants who can't see the world. As soon as the words fell, countless cultivators of creatures in the distance exploded, and their eyes were full of shock and horror. They all exclaimed involuntarily, "I'll go. This son of the Jiang family is too domineering. Those 8 young supremes are absolutely invincible in every era. Everyone is no weaker than that Prince Vermilion Bird. But now these 8 Butianjiao, the young supreme, have not been to put in one's eyes by the son of the Jiang family at all. It is regarded as an ant, a chicken and a dog. This son of the Jiang family is simply extremely arrogant. He has absolute confidence in himself, and it can even be said to be extremely conceited. However, this Shenzi of the Jiang family is indeed worthy of being my God's domain, the pride of the world, as it should be. Possess a grandeur. What ancient Tianjiao, in front of my current Tianjiao, the godson of the Jiang family, it's nothing more than that. Today, let the godson of the Jiang family, let these ancient Tianjiao know how powerful the current Tianjiao of God's domain is. Here, many living beings are cultivators, who are behind Bu Tianjiao's orthodoxy. The revival of the God realm in this world has caused countless killings and bloodshed for all living beings, causing dissatisfaction and anger in his heart. However, he is humble and dare not speak out. Therefore, right now, they all hope that the godson of the Jiang family can give these ancient Tianjiao some color. It is best to suppress and kill these ancient arrogances, so as to show the arrogance of the world and the invincible prestige. Secondly, you can also vent your anger for them and relieve your inner anger. But at this time, as Jiang Lingshan's voice fell, the immortal ancient emperor clan, chaotic ancient god clan, mythical Tao clan, and immemorial royal clan were in the distance. The 8 young supremes all looked furious when they heard the words, and they shouted loudly with anger in their eyes. Jiang Lingshan, you are too arrogant to belittle us so much. What are you talking about? We are chickens, dogs, ants. Today we will do what you wish and join hands to kill you. Let you know that, as Gu Tianjiao, our dignity as a young supreme will never be insulted by others. Boom! As soon as the words fell, the 8 young supremes present, all looked at each other, at the same time. Afterwards, without saying anything, they directly held a divine technique and stretched their figures. Turning into a long rainbow, Jiang Lingshan joined forces to attack and kill Jiang Lingshan in the distance. In an instant, the world in this direction was filled with rays of light from divine arts, which were extremely gorgeous and eye-catching. And this piece of void, like a rag, was torn apart on the spot, and a large piece collapsed. The scene was horrifying, and people were terrified to watch, and they couldn't help but change face on the spot. Son of God, I'll come here and escort you. And at this moment, on the Jiang family's divine ship in the distance, the 8 true disciples of the Jiang family saw this scene. They all shouted loudly on the spot, ready to join forces to help Jiang Lingshan defend against the enemy. But at this moment, Jiang Lingshan looked indifferent, waved his hand, and stopped the true disciples. It doesn't have to be a group of local chickens and dogs. Even if they join forces, in my eyes, they are still a group of things that are not as good as ants. Kill them, son of God, you can do it by raising your hand. At that moment, Jiang Lingshan's eyes flickered coldly, looking at the 8 young supremes attacking him, he said calmly. At the same time, countless living cultivators were all killed by Jiang Lingshan on the spot after seeing this scene. I am deeply impressed by the strong self-confidence displayed on my body. This Jiang Lingshan is worthy of being the son of the longevity family, the godson of the Jiang family, a terrifying evildoer with 3 supreme physiques. In the face of a strong enemy, the invincible aura on his body has fascinated and admired countless cultivators. And at this moment, the 8 young supremes in the distance were like a ray of divine light, carrying monstrous power. With a terrifying aura of destruction, he rushed to Jiang Lingshan. In an instant, Jiang Lingshan also moved. He stepped on the supreme footwork, walking the word fairy step. Cast supreme bones, talent, supernatural power, samsara treasures. At the next moment, the black-haired 2-color divine light between the palms and fingers emerged on the spot, and it possessed incomparably terrifying and frightening power. From the black and white divine light, it poured out on the spot. Snapped. Immediately, Jiang Lingshan looked indifferent, his black hair danced lightly, and he slapped forward with a palm. At that moment, the black and white, 2-color divine light, like 2 shocking electric lights, instantly hit the 8 young supremes. But at this moment, the 8 young supremes couldn't help being shocked when they saw this, and a sense of crisis arose in their hearts. This black and white divine light was extremely strange in their eyes. However, for a while, they couldn't tell where this strangeness came from. However, right now, the arrow is on the string, and there is no room for them to hesitate any longer. Boom! At the same time, a sonic boom sounded from the sky and the earth, and Jiang Lingshan had already turned into a purple gold, immortal light, skimming 8 young supremes. Immediately, this world presented a terrifying and frightening picture. Countless creatures in the distance, cultivator, could not help but fall into dead silence. In the terrified eyes of everyone, the 8 young supremes all moved at an extremely fast, even unimaginable speed. Aging at a rapid rate, with black hair all over, it becomes gray and dry almost instantly. How can this be? At the moment, the eyes of the ancient royal family, the Shivang royal family, and the young supreme were full of shock and fear. He couldn't even maintain his own balance, and even the treasure technique supernatural power in his hand was interrupted on the spot. Almost in a flash, this ancient royal family, the young supreme of the Shivang royal family, from a young man full of vigor and vitality, turned into a dying old man who was about to die, and then quickly turned into a white skeleton. This young supreme, his own vitality, has been cut off, and he can't die anymore. The soul is also destroyed, and there is no possibility of surviving. At the same time, not far away, the other 7 young supremes are doing the same at this time. Even though there were several young supremes, they immediately swallowed the vitality-filled magic fruit on the spot. But all of this is in vain. There is no way to relieve oneself the speed of being robbed of vitality and aging. It's just a flash. The immortal emperor clan, the chaotic ancient god clan, the mythical Tao clan, and the primordial royal clan. The 8 princes who are not weaker than Vermilion Bird, the young supreme in the slightest, are invincible. All turned into bones on the spot, and a gust of wind blew. These white skeletons turned into dust and dispersed with the wind. Such a terrifying scene instantly shocked countless cultivators in the distance. His eyes were wide open, full of shock and fear, his heart felt cold, his scalp was numb, and his hair stood on end. This. How can it be? 8 young supremes joined forces to fight against the Jiang family godson, but it was just a meeting. He was beaten into a pile of bone powder by the godson of the Jiang family. This is horrible, it's shocking. The Jiang family godson, what kind of terrifying magic technique is being used? The black and white, 2-color divine light is so powerful. It can deprive the cultivator of its vitality and lifespan, just like that demon method. That's right, it's magic. At that moment, countless creatures cultivators in the distance, all boiled up and let out exclamations one after another. This side of the world suddenly became noisy and noisy. Moreover, when everyone looked at Jiang Lingshan, their eyes were full of awe and fear. Especially in this world, there are countless young talents. The immortal ancient emperor clan, chaotic ancient god clan, mythical Dao clan, immemorial royal clan, 8 young supremes made their move. Teaming up to defend against the enemy, such a luxurious lineup can be described as extremely terrifying. In their view, such a powerful alliance, God's domain in this world, any arrogance. None of them can compete with it, let alone kill them all. However, the scene that happened not long ago was truly subverted, and there were countless young arrogances present. Cognition of the common sense of monasticism, and the terrifying evildoer, Jiang Lingshan, the godson of the Jiang family. Those 8 young supremes did not cause any harm to Jiang Lingshan. He was also instantly killed by one of his moves. He was beaten to ashes on the spot with a terrifying supernatural power that tingles the scalp. In addition, when these 8 young supremes were about to die, their eyes revealed the fear and despair. It has already been deeply imprinted in the minds of countless young Tianjiao. Let them never forget it in this lifetime. It even became their inner nightmare, the heart's demon on the construction road, and they will never get rid of it, all their lives. This Jiang family godson, he is not a human, he is a monster. Yes, he is a monster. Otherwise, who can kill 8 young supremes in one move and take away all their vitality and lifespan? At that moment, exclamations full of fear and uneasiness came from the countless cultivators in the distance. Especially the countless young Tianjiao, as well as these ancient Tianjiao who have been revived and returned from various eras. Without exception, all of them were terrified by Jiang Lingshan. Fear and despair were written all over their faces, and Dao hearts collapsed. In this life, there is no longer any thought of daring to compete with Jiang Lingshan for the position of great emperor. Even recalling the horror scene today, with Jiang Lingshan in the purple and gold battle suit. These young Tianjiao couldn't help trembling, their souls trembled violently, their scalps were numb, and they felt creepy. At this time, the ancestors of the major forces, the Supreme Elder, saw the fear and despair in the eyes of countless young arrogances. Compared with the embarrassment of the crowd, they all couldn't help but sigh for it. Today, the fact that Jiang Lingshan instantly killed 8 young supremes with one move will inevitably be heard in the entire Huande God's domain. It caused an uproar, and at the same time, let Jiang Lingshan's reputation reach a peak. No. This is impossible. How could this be? My immortal ancient emperor clan, chaotic ancient god clan, mythical Dao clan, immemorial royal clan, the young supreme, how could I fall like this? At the moment, those ancient forces, all the elders roared loudly. Such a scene made these ancient power elders totally unacceptable, and it exceeded all of their expectations. Just because it all happened so fast. But in the blink of an eye, the 8 young supremes were captured by Jiang Lingshan's supreme bone, talent, supernatural power. The treasure of samsara was crushed to ashes by one blow. This godson of the Jiang family is so terrifying. At present, those imperial clan, divine clan, Taoist clan, imperial clan, and all the ancient forces witnessed with their own eyes the fall of their own young supreme. Their eyes were red with grief and indignation, and soon, the brows were filled with gloom. Endless anger surged in his heart. If it weren't for Jiang Lingshan, who came from a supernatural power in the god realm, and a long-lived family. The background behind it is extremely terrifying, making them, the ancient forces, extremely afraid of it. Otherwise, at this time, they have already joined forces to beat Jiang Lingshan into ashes. On the one hand, it is to avenge her young supreme. On the other hand, Jiang Lingshan put great pressure on these ancient forces. It can even be said to be a threat, it can be said to be too terrifying. This godson of the Jiang family, did you just use all kinds of supernatural power treasures? There is such a terrifying power, it is simply shocking. At this moment, the elder of the primordial royal family and the first king royal family, a brilliance flashed in his eyes, and he asked with fear in his heart. In the eyes of this royal elder, Jiang Lingshan's samsara treasure technique can be described as extremely weird, beyond his realm of cognition. Moreover, the ancient forces present, many figures of the older generation, can deprive Jiang Lingshan of other people's vitality. The terrifying magic technique to speed up the passage of time has never been heard of before. The scene just now also had a great psychological impact on these monsters. Let them all be shocked and afraid. In their view, Jiang Lingshan cultivation base realm will be equal to them in the future. Fearing that if they meet each other, they will also be reduced to their own young supreme, and die tragically. Suddenly, at this moment, a divine voice resounded in the crowd of the ancient forces and instantly echoed in everyone's ears. That's the son of the Jiang family, who possesses one of the three supreme physiques, the talent supernatural power of the supreme bone. Samsara treasure. At that moment, an ancestor with extremely ancient qualifications from the immortal ancient emperor clan and the myriad tribulation emperor clan spoke slowly. In the past, he had seen records about the supreme bone in ancient books. It is rumored that in the supreme talent supernatural power, there is the supreme supernatural power involving the time realm, the samsara treasure. I'm going, that son of the Jiang family, what he just performed was the treasured technique of samsara. This is the supreme supernatural power of the heavens and all worlds. It is said that this technique has unrivaled supernatural power, and can deprive others of their vitality and longevity. At this moment, an exclamation came from among the countless cultivators in the distance. Of course, what really dreads and fears about Jiang Lingshan's samsara technique is that if he practices it to the limit of realm, at that time, the treasure of samsara can be sublimated to realm of time. When the law of time is touched, when such treasures come out, time will be reversed and everything will collapse. At present, the older generation of ancient forces, after hearing the words, could not help but fell into a dead silence. Everyone's brows are filled with dignified colors. This godson of the Jiang family has such terrifying fighting power at such a young age. We are waiting for the ancient forces to dominate the orthodoxy, and the 8 young supremes join forces, and they are not the enemy of one stroke. How can I ask, in the orthodox lineage of the ancient forces, among the countless young arrogances, who else in this world of gods can be the opponent of the Jiang family's godson? At the moment, among the ancient forces and the chaotic ancient god clan, someone let out a sigh. This person was the chaotic ancient god clan, the ancestor of the Shin god clan. His eyes were full of despair, and he spoke. As soon as the words fell, the other ancient forces, the immortal emperor clan, the mythical Tao clan, etc., couldn't help feeling endless bitterness in their hearts. Judging from the current situation, the 8 young supreme, and vermilion bird princes. It is definitely the orthodox tradition of the ancient forces, and among the countless young arrogances, they are among the top. But at this time, they all died under Jiang Lingshan's hands. Moreover, the most embarrassing one belongs to Prince Vermilion Bird. The ancient royal family, the Vermilion Bird royal family, the young supreme, the invincible arrogance of an era in the past. In the end, he became the food of the godson of the Jiang family. It was roasted and eaten by it. Woo! Suddenly, at this moment, in the distant sky, there was a long cry of a horn. It was deafening and powerful. I saw an incomparably huge golden ancient ship, like a golden long rainbow, coming through the sky with overwhelming coercion. Immortal Emperor Clan, Golden Emperor Clan, Golden Ancient Emperor's own daughter, Golden Emperor daughter has arrived. At that moment, on that ancient golden ship, there was a young woman dressed in ancient golden clothes, with a face like jade, and eyes like water. Proud and independent, with a slender figure, graceful and upright, with a white jade face and indifferent. It is so beautiful, but it has an unspeakable charm. Like a 10,000-year ice sculpture, exuding an inviolable majesty. This fearless woman is none other than the immortal, ancient Emperor Clan, the biological daughter of the Golden Ancient Emperor, Mu Lingxu. At the end of the immortal era, for some unknown reason, the Golden Ancient Emperor personally sealed it in the immortal source with his supernatural power. Later, in this world of God's domain, she recovered and returned. The Golden Empress, who bears the bloodline of the Ancient Emperor, received the Ancient Emperor, the power of bloodline inheritance, which is extremely terrifying and immeasurable. As the daughter of the Ancient Emperor, the first generation heir, no matter in terms of talent or physical strength, both are stunning in ancient and modern times, with unique innate conditions. 1 year of cultivation is comparable to other cultivators' 100 years of penance. But at this time, on the golden ancient ship, that one was dressed in ancient golden clothes, and his indifferent white jade face was in his eyes at this moment. It was full of shock and surprise. Not long ago, Jiang Lingshan made a quick move and pushed the horror picture of 8 young supremes horizontally. She was really seen by this golden ancient emperor's own daughter. Today, she led the immortal Emperor Clan, the Golden Emperor Clan, and a group of Tianjiao to this place. It is also here to challenge Jiang Lingshan. After all, Jiang Lingshan's prestige in the current God's domain is too great, it can be said to be extremely prominent. With 3 kinds of monsters with supreme physiques, she, the daughter of the ancient emperor, couldn't bear to fight with her. On the one hand, it can sharpen her own way, on the other hand, it can also promote the reputation of Gu Tianjiao. However, at this time, the two goals in her heart have all changed. Because, just now, Jiang Lingshan came to the world like a god, suppressing and killing 8 young supremes. It had a huge impact on her mind and Dao heart. Let her instantly realize that the gap between her and Jiang Lingshan is simply too big. It can even be said that it is like the difference between clouds and mud. It's like a firefly is compared to bright moon, a naive horse is compared to Kylan, and an ant is compared to a real dragon. The two are not on the same level at all. If she dared to challenge Jiang Lingshan today, she would definitely be decapitated and die without a place to bury her. There is no possibility of survival at all. Could it be that this ancient immortal clan, the Golden Ancient Emperor's own daughter, also came here to challenge the Jiang family's godson? Yes, it should be like this. This Golden Empress, who bears the bloodline of the Ancient Emperor, is endowed with unparalleled talent, no less than any young supreme. Even in his immortal ancient period, he was famous in the god realm, pushing countless talents of his peers. If today, among the Gutianjiao present, there is anyone else who can fight against the Jiang family godson, I'm afraid it will only be the Golden Empress. At this moment, countless living beings, cultivators in the distance, many strong ones, express their own thoughts. Invite the Golden Empress to fight against the Jiang family's godson, and praise my ancient heaven's pride, and give me a supreme reputation. Invite the Golden Empress to fight against the Jiang family's godson, and praise my ancient heaven's pride, and give me a supreme reputation. At this moment, countless cultivators from ancient forces in the distance knelt down on one knee and bowed to the Golden Empress. Incomparably respectful, extremely solemn, the sound of chorus resounded through the sky, deafening. At the moment, Jiang Lingshan looked indifferent, and stood with his hands behind his back, looking at the peerless woman with a beautiful face on the golden ancient ship in the distance. He was wearing a purple gold battlesuit, fluttering in the wind, with a gleam in his eyes, and said with a faint smile, "You are also like those 9 young supremes, who came here to challenge me. What kind of Gutianjiao's reputation are you going to claim? He. All of this, in my eyes, is extremely ridiculous." Hearing the words, the Golden Empress turned pale on the spot, seeing this young man in a purple and gold battlesuit, who looked like a lonely god in front of her. Even though his figure was a little thin, he smiled faintly at her. But in the eyes of this Golden Empress, this young man is simply a demon god with terrifying fighting power. If she dared to nod yes, she would definitely be killed by him on the spot. Moreover, she, the Golden Empress, has no power to fight back. Because this boy is too scary. In his eyes, the 8 young supremes were just a group of ants, and they were instantly killed by one of his moves, killing them on the spot. Therefore, at this time, the Golden Empress does not have any will to fight against Jiang Lingshan. And at this moment, a fairy voice came from the Golden Emperor's Sea of Consciousness. It was from her Golden Emperor clan, her own ancestor. "Lingxu, you must not challenge the Jiang family godson. Let's not even have the slightest intention to kill him. Immediately kneel down and worship him, and make a great oath to follow the Jiang family's godson for the rest of his life. Only follow the horse's head." As soon as the words were finished, the Golden Empress, Mu Lingxu's expression froze, and a look of shock appeared on her face, which was as white as jade. At the same time, she frowned slightly. Even if her combat strength is not as good as Jiang Lingshan's, but her own talent is even in the current god realm. It is also the top of the list. How can you be a follower of others? Old ancestor, this. At that moment, the Golden Empress spoke in the Sea of Consciousness. However, before she finished speaking, the divine thoughts of her ancestors resounded in her Sea of Consciousness again. Lingxu, countless epochs ago, the 3 heavenly emperors went to the plateau to destroy the strange and unknown queen. The heavens and the world, usher in an era of harmony. But after endless years, that weirdness and ominousness swept over again. This time, the 3 heavenly emperors went to the source of the strangeness, but never returned. And I, Immortal Domain, the ancestor of the Golden Emperor clan, was later infected by strange and unknown things, and suffered for countless years. I can't hold it anymore. I'm afraid I'm going to die in the Immortal Domain in this life. At that time, my Immortal Domain Golden Emperor clan, and its orthodoxy resources, will surely be coveted by other orthodoxy. At that time, I, the Immortal Domain Golden Emperor clan, will be in danger. I'm afraid I will face annihilation. Lingxu, at the end of the immortal era, your father, Emperor Huanjin, exerted great supernatural power, after paying a huge price. I finally saw a corner of the future of my immortal domain, the Golden Emperor clan. At that time, the immortal domain Golden Emperor clan, the first ancestor, was imprisoned, and the entire clan was facing a crisis of extinction. And in that crisis, the person who saved our Golden Emperor clan was possessed of 3 supreme physiques. A forbidden genius in a purple and gold battlesuit. Looking at it today, this taboo celestial arrogance is the son of the longevity family, the Jiang family. According to the secrets of my Golden Emperor clan, this Jiang family is in the immortal domain, and it is also an extremely powerful force. A supergiant overlord exists. You can only become a follower of the Jiang family godson, and when you ascend to the immortal domain with the Jiang family godson in the future, it is possible to borrow the Jiang family's peerless reputation in the immortal domain to protect my immortal domain's golden imperial lineage. Therefore, Lingzhu, for the sake of family inheritance, you absolutely must not have any evil thoughts towards the son of the Jiang family. Be his follower with peace of mind. At that time, there will definitely be a time for you, Lingzhu, to shine in all the heavens and myriad worlds. The ancestor of the Golden Emperor clan, just as the divine voice fell, the Golden Emperor's daughter couldn't help but tremble all over. Beauty's eyes were full of shock, and her breathing was a little short. She has never understood why at the end of the Jiang'a era, her own father sealed her in Jianyuan. In the god realm of the current world, he has returned from recovery. It wasn't until today that she learned the reason. All of this was to keep her immortal domain. The inheritance of the Golden Imperial family will not be cut off. In addition, this Jiang family godson, the family behind it, is a supernatural power in the domain of God, that's all. Unexpectedly, in the immortal domain, this Jiang family is also the overlord and giant, an extremely powerful force. It seems that only by becoming a follower of the Jiang family's godson, her immortal domain Golden Emperor clan, can there be hope of not being destroyed. At the moment, the Golden Empress exhaled a breath to calm her mind. Immediately, there was a look of determination in his eyes, as if he had made a huge and incomparable determination. Completely let go of the dignity and pride that an ancient emperor's own daughter should have. I saw the Golden Empress knelt down on the spot, kowtowed, and bowed to Jiang Lingshan in the distance. Very respectful, very solemn. Immortal Ancient Emperor Clan, Golden Emperor Clan, Ancient Emperor's own daughter, Mu Lingxu. Today I swear by Dao Dao that I will follow Godson Ling Qian in this life. From the beginning to the end, only Godson Lingshan will follow the lead and clear the world for Godson. The Golden Empress transformed so quickly, Jiang Lingshan was surprised for a moment. As for the distant ones, the ancestors of the major forces, the Supreme Elder, and the cultivator of countless creatures. The eyebrows at this moment are filled with unbelievable colors. The immortal Ancient Emperor clan, an Ancient Emperor's own daughter, has such a noble and high status. However, at this time, he treated an outsider like a servant, swore by the Tao, and was willing to be his follower. Even the strong men of the Golden Emperor clan on the ancient golden ship were extremely surprised, their eyes were full of astonishment. However, among the crowd, the Golden Emperor clan, who is the patriarch of the family, looked calm. Because not long ago, the patriarch of the Imperial clan had already informed him of this matter in advance. It is such an important decision related to their own immortal domain and the inheritance of the Imperial family. Even if he is the Emperor clan and the head of the family, he has no right to intervene, he can only follow orders. However, in the distance, there are countless living beings cultivators, whether they are current cultivators or ancient cultivators. After seeing this scene, they all shook violently, and gasped on the spot. I just felt my scalp tingling, my whole body seemed to be spinning, and my brain kept buzzing. Such an unbelievable and horrifying scene kept stimulating the nerves of everyone present. A member of the immortal Ancient Emperor clan, the Ancient Emperor's own daughter, was like a servant, kneeling down and bowing to outsiders. Make an oath of the Tao, and be its follower for the rest of your life. God. What's going on? How did the world become like this? A daughter of the Ancient Emperor actually kowtowed to the godson of the Jiang family, claiming to be his follower. Am I dreaming? How is this possible? In the distance, exclamations of surprise came from countless cultivators, resounding through the world, creating a commotion. At this time, among the ancient forces in the distance, especially Jiang Tianjiao, they were all dumbfounded. It's like being petrified, and I can't accept all this at all. Just now, these ancient arrogances knelt down on one knee and saluted the Golden Empress. I hope that the Golden Empress can defeat the godson of the Jiang family, and raise the supreme prestige of the ancient Tianjiao. It's just that at this moment, the hopes of all of them have turned into nothingness. In the eyes of countless Gutianjiao, the lofty and extremely noble immortal ancient emperor clan, the ancient emperor's own daughter. At this moment, he actually kowtowed to the current Tianjiao, the godson of the Jiang family, and claimed to be his follower. Even though they witnessed many unbelievable scenes, the scene in front of them still made them feel unbelievable. I can't accept all this at all. How could this be? I am the immortal ancient emperor clan, the ancient emperor's own daughter, so noble bloodline. Right now, he actually treats the godson of the Jiang family like a servant. At that moment, someone among Gutianjiao couldn't help but let out an exclamation. Sworn the great oath to follow me, Jiang Lingshan, other than that, do you have any other sincerity? At that moment, the astonishment in Jiang Lingshan's eyes had dissipated, and his expression returned to normal before he spoke lightly. Even though this golden empress, who is the ancient emperor bloodline, talent is astonishing from ancient to modern times. In the current god realm, he is a peerless arrogance, but in Jiang Lingshan's eyes, he is still an ant. As long as he is willing, he can easily obliterate it. No effort at all. However, right now, this golden empress is not hesitating to swear an oath to follow Jiang Lingshan. This caused doubts in his heart, and some doubts whether this golden empress would do things against the Jiang family in the future. Son of God, I. At that moment, the golden empress couldn't help but froze when she heard the words. Even if it was her, she didn't know how to respond to Jiang Lingshan for a while. After all, as the immortal emperor clan, the ancient emperor's own daughter, the first generation of bloodline, her status is extremely honorable. In her eyes, kneeling and kowtowing to Jiang Lingshan, such a solemn ceremony, already showed her greatest sincerity. But in Jiang Lingshan's view, all this is far from enough. This involuntarily made her, the daughter of the ancient emperor, froze for a moment, and then became dazed. The words in his heart seemed to be blocked in his throat, and he couldn't speak them at all. But at this moment, Jiang Lingshan looked indifferent, wearing a purple and gold battle suit fluttering in the wind. He said lightly, Jiang's family, I live in the ancient palace, and there is one handyman missing, who is responsible for cleaning the dust and fallen leaves outside the ancient palace. If you can work as a handyman for half a year in the ancient palace where I live, then I, Jiang Lingshan, will make an exception and give you a chance. The reason why Jiang Lingshan made an exception for the Golden Empress was because he had just received a system prompt. In front of him, this Golden Empress is the daughter of luck. If he really surrenders to his Jiang Lingshan, then he can get a copy of the system's supreme, large gift bag. Son of God, this. At this time, the Golden Emperor's expression changed. Involuntarily when she heard the words, her beautiful eyes were full of inconceivable expressions. As the immortal Emperor clan, the ancient Emperor's own daughter, I have a supreme status. But now, this Jiang Lingshan actually made her work as a handyman for half a year before giving her a chance. Consider accepting her as an own follower. But that's a handyman. In a family, a person with an extremely despicable status is a servant. As the daughter of the ancient emperor, she has such a noble status. How can she do the lowly and despicable work done by inferior talents? Following Jiang Lingshan, the voice fell, and many immortal cultivators in the distance rubbed their ears. Right now, everyone is unanimously wondering whether they have auditory hallucinations or whether there is a problem with their ears. In my own life, the most powerful force, the immortal ancient emperor clan, the daughter of the golden ancient emperor. In their eyes, the noble and incomparably noble daughter of the ancient emperor claimed to be someone else's follower. In their view, this is already unbelievable. It can be described as a fantasy. However, at this time, the godson of the Jiang family did not agree on the spot. He even asked him to go to Jiang's house first and work as a handyman for half a year before giving the emperor a chance. As for whether he will be accepted as a follower at that time, it is still unknown. In the distance, on the golden ancient ship, the golden emperor clan, who is the head of the family, also has a look of surprise on his brows. There was even a look of helplessness in his eyes. He was the golden emperor, the proud daughter of heaven. He didn't catch Jiang Lingshan's eyes at all, so he agreed to accept the emperor's daughter as his follower on the spot. Lingxu promised to the godson of the Jiang family. At that moment, the golden empress, Mu Lingxu's sea of consciousness, once again heard the voice of her ancestor. Seeing this, things have come to this point. The ancestor also spoke, and the golden empress bit her jade lips lightly. Her beautiful eyes sparkled with determination. As if Dao heart has been completely firm, there is no longer any slightest hesitation. Lingxu, please follow the Son of God, sent by the Holy Order. At this moment, the Golden Empress kowtowed once again, and made a big gift to Jiang Lingshan, showing great respect. As soon as the words were finished, the cultivators, countless creatures in the distance, were once again in an uproar. Whether it is a contemporary cultivator or an ancient cultivator, the eyes are full of shock and disbelief. This ancient immortal clan, the Golden Ancient Emperor's own daughter, actually agreed. At that moment, after Jiang Lingshan saw this scene, a smile appeared in his eyes. He nodded, and said, "In that case, you should get up first. After you finish handling the private affairs of the Golden Emperor clan, you can come to my Jiang family to report." "Yes, son of God." Upon hearing this, the Golden Empress nodded solemnly, and then came behind Jiang Lingshan, proud and independent. But at this moment, a systematic mechanical sound came from Jiang Lingshan's sea of consciousness. Ding! Congratulations to the host, daughter of luck, Golden Empress, surrender to the host. The host has obtained a supreme large gift bag. Immediately, Jiang Lingshan felt a ripple in his heart. It seemed that the Golden Empress really surrendered to him. No other evil thoughts, nor the slightest murderous intention. At this time, the ancient royal family, the Divine Wing royal family, were on their way to Eastern Wasteland, the Longevity family, and the Jiang family. This son of the Divine Winged royal family wanted to challenge Jiang Lingshan. But not long after, he received shocking news from the front. The ancient royal family, the Vermilion Bird royal family, overthrew the invincible arrogance of an era, and the Vermilion Bird prince died. Not only that, but also roasted and eaten by the godson of the Jiang family. In addition, the immortal ancient emperor clan, chaotic ancient god clan, mythological Tao clan, immemorial royal clan, and 8 young supremes teamed up to challenge Jiang Lingshan, but was killed by one move. At the moment, this ancient top royal family, the son of the Divine Wing royal family, has a gloomy look on his brows. At the same time, beads of sweat could not stop dripping from his forehead. The Divine Wing royal family knew very well that this Vermilion Bird prince, and the other 8 young supremes, picked out one person at random. Anyone can crush him easily, without any effort at all. However, such a terrifying person in his eyes, a peerless genius, all 9 of them were killed by the Shenzi of the Jiang family. If it were today, he would still be thinking about something, going to Jiang's house and challenging Jiang Lingshan. To be one step ahead of others in the god realm of this world, to promote the reputation of being the top arrogance that one will come to die. It doesn't make any difference. It's like a birthday star eating arsenic, he thinks his life is too long. Son of God, I'm about an hour away from Eastern Wasteland, the Longevity family, and the Jiang family. At this moment, on the ancient chariot, a little winged demon with the appearance of a servant confronted the son of the Divine Winged royal family. After saluting, he opened his mouth respectfully. As soon as the words fell, the expression of this son of the Divine Winged royal family changed drastically on the spot, and his whole body couldn't help being shocked. As if frightened, his eyes were full of horror. "Go home immediately." At that moment, the son of the Divine Wing royal family waved his hand as if he had made a major decision, and said. However, as soon as the words fell, all the peerless powerhouses of the Divine Wing royal family present all froze as if they had been petrified. Son of God, don't tell me you're cowardly before fighting and want to escape from this place. If that's the case, acting like this, for your Tao heart, I'm afraid it will. On the chariot, the little winged monster opened, his eyes wide, frowned, and said tremblingly. However, before the little winged demon could finish speaking, he saw the divine son of the winged royal family, with a divine light shining between his palms and fingers. With one palm, it was slapped into a pool of blood, mud on the spot, without even having time to scream out. It was completely killed. You Tao heart. Is this Jiang Lingshan an ordinary genius? He is simply a monster. If I go to challenge, what is the difference between sending me to death? Tao heart, life is gone, I need a hammer for this Tao heart. At this time, the son of the Divine Winged royal family, with a sneer in his eyes, muttered to himself in the sea of consciousness. I just received the order from the Patriarch, and the Patriarch has something important to call me back. As for the Son of God, it is simply nonsense to fear the enemy before a battle and flee without fighting. HMF. This Son of God, but I am destined to be in this world of the God realm, an existence that is invincible in all the heavens and 10,000 realms. My Tao heart is as firm as a rock. At that moment, the divine son of the Divine Winged royal family stood up, and a divine voice was deafening, resounding in all directions. It's just that, when this son of the Divine Winged royal family yelled out the divine voice, his body trembled uncontrollably. His expression was extremely pale, and beads of sweat covered his forehead. Soon, Jiang Lingshan killed 8 young supremes with one move, grilled the vermilion bird prince, and subdued the golden empress. With the momentum of thunder, it spread throughout the entire Huande God realm from the gates of the major domains, the Divine Way magic circle, and the 5-color altar. The prestige of Eastern Wasteland, the longevity family, Jiang Lingshan's son, and Jiang Lingshan once again resounded in the ears of countless Taoists and cultivators. When people heard it, they were shocked on the spot, and felt endless awe of Jiang Lingshan. As for Jiang Lingshan's terrifying combat power, it is even more impressive to God's domain, whether it is the current Tianjiao or the ancient Tianjiao. All of them were deeply shocked by him on the spot. Of the 9 invincible geniuses, 1 was roasted and eaten as food, and the other 8 were instantly killed with one move. With such a heaven-defying combat power, it has already declared to the world that it is the world's God's domain, the name of the number 1 arrogance. It can only belong to the godson of the Jiang family, Jiang Lingshan. Now, in the entire Huande God's domain, all living beings, no one knows Jiang Lingshan's name. And Jiang Lingshan, in the current God's domain, created brilliant achievements in the eyes of countless arrogance. It's more like an unattainable myth of invincibility. It can be said that there is no one before and no one after. At this time, the Eastern Wasteland, the longevity family, the Jiang family, and Jiang Lingshan lived in the ancient palace. System, open a supreme large gift bag. Yes, host. Ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the sacrificial path without immortal liquid. Following the sound of the system, Jiang Lingshan's eyes were filled with joy. Just because the fairy liquid above the Tao of sacrifice has extremely extraordinary significance for Jiang Lingshan at present. As for the value, it cannot be measured at all. Because his predecessor, the various realms he cultivated, have never cultivated it to the extreme. And on top of this sacrificial path, the unrivaled immortal liquid can help him rebuild all these realms. Thus, he consolidated his own Tao foundation to a level that no one has ever done before, and no one will come after. However, according to the system prompt, the unparalleled immortal liquid he obtained needs to be based on his own origin. Turn it into a divine fire, sacrifice it, and make it match your body perfectly. And this sacrificial refining process will take a month. Thanks for watching, subscribe and support my channel.